and we'll have him on the broadcast, but how he got into business and some of his trials and tribulations, if you will, in life. And so it's just it's an American story. And we're just really happy that we're able to find companies that and that was part of our mission. I told you that we were going to do this, and we're setting out in that direction to be able to partner with worthwhile American companies that provide jobs and provide a great product. And that's what we should do, and that's what we will continue to do, because there's nothing less American than that. And we definitely stand for the national anthem here at For the People. We'll do it every single time, not some of the time. We'll do it all the time. And we do it for the men and women in uniform that serve so courageously or have served, and the families that also serve too. We never forget the families that serve too, because if you got somebody in the military that goes out and serves, you're serving too. It's like serving time, for some people say, because you're waiting time, praying that your loved one actually will return. That's tough. That's nerves, man. But military families do it all the time. Here's one of these stories where it's like, geez, do you go to the air with us? Do you talk about it? Well, I'm talking about a gentleman. I don't even know if I want to call him a gentleman, but he's a guy, an accused cop killer. There was a jury selection in New Orleans, and it came to a screeching and smelly halt yesterday. Judge Karen Herman, she had to clear her courtroom after the cop killer, Travis Boyes, 35, he returned from the bathroom and began rubbing feces, which had been wrapped in a napkin and concealed, on his face, head, and mouth, and in front of a pool of potential jurors, according to Fox 8 in New Orleans. Boyes is charged with the 2015 killing of a New Orleans police officer. The reporter from WDSU said that the incident occurred in the middle of July selection. It says, breaking officials say Boyes rubbed feces on his face and his mouth in the middle of a jury selection. Nice try, Mr. Feces. You know why he did it. Somebody told him to do it. He wants the jury to feel sorry for, not feel sorry. Boyes is crazy. Who would put feces all over his face, his mouth, his head, but a crazy man in front of the jury? I mean, it's a nutty thing to do. I mean, it's a nasty thing to do. I mean, disgusting. But when you're desperate, well, desperate measures. This is a desperate guy. Where's that song when you need a desperado? I mean, this guy, pond scum, do not feel sorry for him. Killed a cop, cold blood. Travis Boyes. Good try rubbing feces all over yourself here, but big spectacle, as you can imagine, and it did stink to high heaven. I mean, we've said enough. But man, this guy is facing life in prison if convicted of murdering a 22-year-old New Orleans police veteran officer, Daryl Holloway. 22 years. 22 year. Yeah, he wasn't 22 years old. He's a 22-year veteran officer. I don't know exact age, but 22 years in the force. Very beloved, but in cold blood, killed the guy, and now he's wanting to get off on he's nuts charge. He was out of his mind. See, I put feces onto my face, so I plead insanity because I put poop all over my face. Yeah, nice try. I mean, I couldn't imagine being in the courtroom to see the expressions of the jurors. I don't know if they're going to have to do an all-new juror selection after all of that. I mean, you know how you get jury selection and you get pulled to come in and to sit in. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen or what experience you're going to have. I guarantee you they wish to God that their name wasn't called. Oh, geez. Just when you think. No, it's not the first time. This has happened in other. But, I was thinking motive. Why would somebody. Clearly, they're just, this guy's crazy. He'll do life in prison, but you don't want to kill him because he's nuts. Or he gets off and gets to go to a cuckoo hospital for treatment and gets off. By the way, Jefferson Davis in Mississippi, the school named after Jefferson Davis, is going to be renamed after Obama. And I got some thoughts about that. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, geez, dear God. No, don't do it. Not Obama. Don't name it after him. But then I got into the story, kind of read into it before I was, hyperventilating. But the school with a 98% African-American enrollment is set to rename the school for Barack Obama in the next academic year, and a move proposed by parents and approved by a majority of students, parents, faculty, and staff members. Seems like everybody's on board. The PTA president, Janelle Jefferson, announced the planned changes at a school board meeting Tuesday. The students had overwhelming support for President Obama, Jefferson told the Associated Press on Wednesday. She said a 3-week process led to the vote. People at the school offered suggestions for new names, and students in each class, from kindergarten through the 5th grade, conducted research and presented it at a school assembly. 4th and 5th graders oversaw an election with the students, teachers, and staff casting paper ballots at school. Parents could vote on campus or by absent ballot. We wanted to be very inclusive and transparent in the process, to be fair, to make sure that everybody felt like they had a voice, Jefferson said. So the magnet school had a admissions process based on testing and offers a rigorous curriculum. State rankings released Tuesday showed that it was the top academic performer of all elementary and middle schools in Mississippi for 2016-2017. About 96% of students Jackson Public School are African American. Hey, listen, more power to you. This is not taking down a statue. This is not really, I guess, it's for those that, like the school name, I mean, fine, but it didn't seem like anybody really was bent out of shape there, and it was a unanimous vote. And to me, that was good. That wasn't not a bad day. That was not a sad day. I'm not a big fan of Obama and some of the things that he accomplished in 8 years, which, if you listen to the broadcast on a daily basis, I wasn't a huge fan, not a big fan. I'm still not a big fan, but I know that there is plenty of African Americans that are proud of Barack Obama, and minorities, not just black, but the position that he was able to have gave hope to so many others that for some thought that it was not achievable. He broke the ceiling, and it gives other minorities hope that one day that they can run through hard work, that they too might be able to achieve the highest office in the land. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. Unfortunately, I wish that our first African-American president would have done a better job with minorities. A school might be named after him. I guess we'll soon find out in Chicago when the library is completed exactly what are the accomplishments and what is he deemed to be accomplishment. I know the things that he's tried to do, and I know things that he did do, but mostly the things that he didn't do. He promised everything to everyone, and he was kind of in a way, with his smile and his charisma, like a Jimmy Carter. But one of the most leftist-leaning presidents we've ever seen, and did not help out minorities in a way that he said he would. Instead, more minorities are in the hole, broke, uneducated, and more killed on the streets than ever before. And he wasn't a uniter. He was a divider. Oh, he shook things up. Oh, he may have broken a barrier. Just a lot of unanswered questions about Barack Obama, but clearly undermined our military. He hurt our economy in immeasurable ways, made it tough for small businesses to get ahead, and hurt minorities unbelievably, where they could not get ahead, couldn't get up. People are hurting in this country. He didn't help them. He hurt them. He wanted their votes. Where people feel pain the most is economics. And minorities felt it. And a lot of minorities, ladies and gentlemen, voted for Barack Obama. Yes. But guess who else they voted for? Donald Trump. Because they realized that Obama was leaving. They didn't trust Hillary Clinton. You endorsed her. Somebody that lied to the American people repeatedly. And her husband did the same exact thing. Liar, fire, pants on fire. It caught up with them. They realized that it was a lot of rhetoric. It was a lot of lies that they could not rely on any longer. And they said enough is enough. And besides blacks and minorities, don't forget, there was millions of whites that voted for Barack Obama. They hoped that he would be able to mend some fences in positive ways. Ways that would be able to bring our country together. But yet divided us even further. Is our union stronger because of that? No. Will I get goosebumps going by that high school? No. But if it inspires a minority, an African American, a black, to be able to serve in a way that brings back to our country, and whether it's the highest office of the land or public service or some way to give back to our country, then so be it. Let it be. If there's a spark that's brought in somebody's heart because of it, then great. I'm not angry about it. From that vantage, that's the way I see it as a white guy living in America. I have a lot of friends that are minorities, black, white, Cuban, Mexican, Jewish, Turkish, you name it, from all Israel, everywhere on the planet. And they have shared with me their views, and they're not always my views. But when I share some practical thinking when it comes down to policies and the ideology, et cetera, mixed with that, and personal ambition, I try to break it down for people to be able to hear truth, to be able to hear the things that really matter behind the scenes. Anybody can stand up and make a speech sound good. Some are better than others. Barack was very good. Very good. And basically, a lot of the Dems will say, well, the reason Barack Obama was not able to accomplish this because it was the Republicans. Forget about what it was that they opposed and why they opposed it. There were things that the Republicans liked and did pass, a lot of stuff that Obama went for. Biting their tongue. But instead of asking or going deeper, there's people that vehemently will say, I hate Donald Trump. That's what they'll tell me. I hate him. I hate Donald Trump. And then I get down to the bottom of it because he hates Mexicans. Oh, we're to the border wall again. Then you put it into perspective for him. No, that's not what he said. And then you play what he said. No, that's not what he said. I mean, people hear, folks, what they want to hear. And they also hear the fake news. And it's the fake news and for where this comes from. And it's the fake news that's holding our country back and holding a lot of minorities back because they're not telling the truth. And unfortunately, the truth is not being told completely in a lot of schools.